So I see hustle culture as this thief of passion and of purpose. It kind of traps entrepreneurs in a cycle of endless work and literally just steals all of your joy. This business model is the alternative to that. It's the path to freedom and fulfillment and building a successful and sustainable business. So there tend to be two kinds of entrepreneurs. The first one, which I'll call category one, is this kind of global empire builder. So if this is you, you dream of being the next Uber or the next Airbnb, you're chasing multi-million-dollar checks and that kind of CEO status. You're likely to thrive on 12-hour work days, want massive teams, on that unrelenting hustle. And if that is you, then no hate, no shade, but this video definitely isn't for you. If you're a category two, then you're a purpose-driven freedom seeker. So this kind of entrepreneur built a business or is building a business for autonomy and flexibility and to live days infused with passion. You probably fear waking up to an everyday life that's built on what society expects of you. You want your income detached from your time, and you're building a business with two core goals in mind. The first is the freedom to spend your time doing what fulfills you, and the second is creating a positive impact on the world around you. I fall under category two. I've got no interest in global domination or becoming a billionaire. I make money doing something meaningful that I'm deeply passionate about, and for me, as far as I'm concerned, that is the dream. And after just under 3 years in my business, I'm about 75% of the way towards achieving both of those ultimate goals, with every single thing I do in my personal and professional life being time spent on what fulfills me. And this business model, the Solo-Modular Business Model, is why I can be so confident I'm going to get to that 100%. So most business models are designed with money as the core motivator for why they exist. So freedom or fulfillment, they get sidelined or they're just not included at all. And I know this because most freedom-seeking entrepreneurs start how I started, Googling business building strategies and scrolling endlessly through social media. And these money-first strategies, they'll leave you burned out by constant demands on your time, on your energy, chained to time for money income models that will limit your scalability, resentful towards your day-to-day experience, and most of the time overwhelmed by the complexity of having to have so many moving parts. So if all of those things are things that you'd like to avoid, then the Solo-Modular Business Model is the right business model for you. If you want to build a meaningful business, then the Solo-Modular Business Model is the right business model for you. And most importantly, if you want that fulfilled time freedom, the Solo-Modular Business Model, you guessed it, is for you. So before I jump into how you can action and implement this business model, I want to share something with you first. So I never set out to build a multi-six-figure business. In fact, the ADHD entrepreneur, my business, my brand, is started by accident. Basically, over 4 years ago, while pitching another business to a room of successful entrepreneurs, I mentioned having ADHD, and to my absolute surprise, 80% of them started sharing their own diagnosis. And that moment sparked my obsession with the link between ADHD and entrepreneurship. So I jumped on social media and started sharing what I'd learned. I created offers to help others, and now, almost $500,000 later, I have a life I once thought was impossible. A life where my work is actually meaningful. I'm free to decide my own actions, and my day-to-day experience is filled with things that I actually enjoy. That lifestyle is only possible because of the Solo-Modular Business Model. So we're going to jump into how it works. So there are two core components of the Solo-Modular Business Model, two core parts that make it up. The first is that solo part, so you operate without employees.
We work better alone anyway.
Instead, we're leveraging technology, systems, automations, and then at the end, freelancers so that we can grow it. The second part is modular. So that's inspired by modular furniture, which is pieces of furniture designed in such a way that separate pieces can come together to create different finished designs. So with this model, you build flexible, interchangeable components that adapt to your skills and your passions and your changing circumstances. So this model design allows for unlimited possibilities. The pieces are adaptable to best fit the requirements of the environment. These two things come together to mean this model allows you to create and manage a business that's entirely on your own terms. Each component is independent yet complementary. enabling you to make easy adjustments and, most importantly, to grow it quickly but without burnout. So let me tell you what the Solo-Modular Business Model is going to give you so you can start to decide whether it's the right fit for you. First of all is accessibility, okay? It's accessible to anyone. You can start it with low overhead and minimal investment. I started my business with $57. With this model, you can literally start it for free. All right. The next is flexibility. You can shift focus without chaos as your passions and your interests evolve. Then scalability. You're going to add in new modules, which means you're going to grow to that success, but sustainably and without overwhelm. Right? Then the space for creativity, the space to innovate and pivot as you learn new skills and knowledge. Freedom. That's autonomy over your time. So your income is going to become the byproduct of that. Fulfillment. You're aligning your work with your passions and your values and doing things that you enjoy. And finally, simplicity. The whole point of this is that it's a minimalist operation. You are intentionally minimizing stress while maximizing flow and cohesiveness. So we live in a time where anyone can start a business that allows them to drastically expand their income to potential millions while spending their time doing things that they actually enjoy. And to do this actually only requires three things. One is unlimited access to knowledge for free, which of course we have. Two is digital leverage, so technology, platforms, and tools. And three is unlimited opportunity, which of course is readily available with the internet. But the problem is that it's because of this that you'll see endless grifters and gurus popping up all over social media to sell you that ultimate dream, saying things like, build a business that makes you 50K months while you sleep in 7 days. The Solo-Modular Business Model isn't that, because that literally doesn't exist. This model takes work to build, but you are reducing the work required as fast as possible to only require work that you enjoy. This is why it is accessible to anyone, but it isn't for everyone. If you're looking for a shortcut to millions and you aren't willing to learn, driven by self-determination, the desire to live in alignment with your values, the Solo-Modular Business Model probably isn't the right fit for you. This model is for people who have inbuilt curiosity, who find the process of learning enjoyable and rewarding, and who are willing to tackle a challenge rather than those people who actively avoid those challenges. So the Solo-Modular Business Model is made up of 3 stages. Remember the modular furniture analogy from before? Separate modules come together to create that finished design. So with this business model, you focus your energy on a different module in each of these 3 stages. Then they come together to create a successful and sustainable business, which means that you don't burn out. So starting with stage 1, build foundational skills. The outcome here is simply learning how to make an income, to work more and earn less. In stage 2, we create systems. This is where we earn more money more efficiently, and we transition into working more and earning more. So we're still working at the same level, but we're making a higher income. Then stage 3, productize and outsource. This is that fulfilled time freedom, that ultimate goal. Here is where we transition into working less and earning more. So I'm going to take you through each of our 3 stages so you can start to understand what is required in each one. So stage 1, we have audience building and monetization. We're building foundational skills. So any business at all is built on 2 core foundations. The first is delivery. That just means supplying the thing that you sell. And the second is acquisition, which is just getting people to buy what you sell. So in this model, building a social media audience and then creating an income by solving a problem for the audience that you've built. That's that monetization side. So let's start with audience building. So first of all, forget the trends, ignore the hacks, and build an audience with this framework. Step 1, define your identity expansion goal. So your identity expansion goal is your dream for your customers or clients or whatever, with no attachment to financial gain. It connects your audience's aspirational identity with your purpose, the reason that you exist other than making money. It's the transformation that your audience will achieve from interacting with you. So to make that a little bit easier to understand, mine, for example, as the ADHD entrepreneur, is for anyone who has ADHD to live in personal fulfillment and be mind blown by their own capability. Okay, so you can see how there's no attachment to financial gain there. Then the next step is to share content that aligns with that goal. So this is what creates a unique perspective. You're sharing authentic content that attracts an engaged audience who then become deeply connected to you. The second stage of this is monetization. So here we're going to identify the biggest problem stopping your audience achieving that identity expansion goal we just defined before. Then you're going to create a solution to that problem that you have the skills and knowledge to create, right? Your solution is what you offer. So that's what you sell. That's that delivery part. It's your unique frameworks or methods for solving that problem. And in this stage, you provide those frameworks and methods one-on-one directly. This allows you to charge more, and it's called a high ticket offer. So imagine you have 500 followers on a social media platform and you create your high ticket offer for $2,500. You only need 0.8% of them, of those 500 followers, to invest in you for you to make your first $10,000. Less than 1%. And that cash flow is the starting point, the foundation to the ultimate goal of a business that is built on fulfilled time freedom. So to do this effectively, of course, you need the key skills to make it happen. And in each stage, your focus needs to be on developing those key skills, nothing else, right? That's how we stop the burnout. That's how we manage your energy. That's how we fast track to that success. So the stage 1 key skills are offer creation, learning how to create offers. Content creation, so static and video content. Human behavior and psychology, okay? You need to understand desire and why people act the way they do and think the way they do so that you can connect with them. And finally, to do this well, you need to put time to learning copywriting and design skills. So those are your 4 key skills for stage 1 of the Solo-Modular Business Model. I promise you, if you nail down those 4 key skills, then you're already going to have a highly profitable online business. Okay, so once you have those key skills, then you move into stage 2. That's digital leverage, right? We're creating systems. This is working more and earning more. So your key skills in stage 1 transition you into that earning more. And by moving into a new stage, you've ultimately moved into a new environment. So it's time to change your module, okay? So a new stage requires new knowledge and skills. And in stage 2, those are digital leverage. This is the strategic use of systems, tools, automations, and AI to grow your business without having to increase your time or effort, but instead reducing your time and effort. So your stage 2 key skills are exactly that. Tools, automations, systems, and AI. So with that in mind, let me give you my 4-step framework for mastering digital leverage. So basically, you find the tasks you repeat, you break those tasks into steps, you document that as a process so you have it written down, and then you find the right tools, platforms, or software to remove as many of those parts of the process as possible so it becomes hands-off for you. Thus, you reduce your time and your effort involved in as many as your tasks as possible. That is what systemization looks like done well. Finally, stage 3 of the Solo-Modular Business Model is productization and outsourcing. So this is where we transition into that work less and earn more, that ultimate goal, okay? Because by stage 3, your business is making income and you've mastered that digital leverage, those systems. So you have traffic, that's your audience. You have a results-driven offer, that's your monetization. You have systems, so you've implemented that digital leverage to decrease your workload. So now you're in a position to acquire the key skills to achieve the ultimate goal of fulfilled time freedom. All right, so let's talk about what those skills are. So the first one is productization. So productization is the key to achieving freedom as an entrepreneur. It's how your business starts essentially running itself, all right? So this is what allows you to work less while still growing your income, while still making more money, right? Work less, earn more. So in stage 1, you created those methods and those frameworks and you sold it in that one-on-one offer to sell to your audience. Now you're in stage 3. You're going to convert those frameworks and methods into a product that teaches them without your input, without you having to be there. A course or a digital product, for example. That is productization. That is what you need to do to get to that work less, earn more. Second key skill, outsourcing. So freelancers are essentially the key to growing a business free from the stress of team management and without the responsibility of paying salaries, all right? Freelancers are self-employed. You can utilize their skill sets only as needed. Lots of people find outsourcing difficult, it's quite overwhelming. So here is a really simple, effective strategy to keep that outsourcing process super simple. Now remember, if you've done this right and you've gone through the stages properly, you shouldn't need to outsource until you're in stage 3. And by the time you have a lot of systems in place that have already reduced that workload. That's why we can use freelancers, because doing this right means that you don't have any need for a team because most of it's already taken care of. So the key areas that you'll have left over are your admin, which is what you should outsource first. Your accounting. Trust me when I say that getting a good accountant is a good decision for your business. Then your video editing. Video editing is a very time-heavy thing to do in your business. You want to outsource that to a freelancing video editor next and as quickly as possible. And finally, your copywriting, things like your email promotions and anything that involves writing for the purposes of marketing. Once you've done that, you're then selling a productized version of your offer, so with no input from you. All of your systems, your digital leverage are handling the vast majority of operations, and the rest of the stuff that takes up time is time heavy or difficult, like your admin, your accounting, your video editing, and your copywriting is outsourced to other people, right? This is how you end up on working less while earning more. This is what leaves you free to focus your time on the things that you enjoy in your business or in your life that you are passionate about, okay? See how quickly it is possible to reduce that amount of work that you have to do so that you can live a life designed by this fulfilled time freedom. You have a product to sell that doesn't require your input. Your business operations run on systems and outsourcing. You are now working less while earning more. That is how you do that effectively. Now, the problem is, and this is probably the most important part of talking about this solo modular business model, because I often share this with the people around me, not my clients, but people I actually know personally. And these are people that hate their jobs, people that want financial and time freedom, people that have skills and knowledge to share that they could sell and turn into these offers and ultimately into these products. They have the access to that unlimited knowledge and resources and that opportunity, but they will never ever do this. And I really want to share with you exactly why I think that is. So this model gives you your freedom in return for so little sacrifice in the grand scheme of things. A year, maybe 2 years to gain the key skills that take you through each of those stages, and it's yours. Passion-driven work, multi-six-figure plus income, your time spent on what fulfills you. You just give the time to gaining the skills and the knowledge, those key skills in each stage, and you're there. And the reason that the people around me don't do it is because they won't let themselves believe that it is true. They won't allow themselves to so much as dream it, let alone to risk it, for fear of what other people might think. They fear facing themselves in the mirror if they fail. Fear of judgment, lack of self-belief, and this fear of failure are the only real obstacles to that freedom. When you overcome those things, I promise you, you become unstoppable. And what's important to understand is that you will only be judged by those who envy you for having the courage to pursue what actually lights you up inside. So dare to trust in yourself and in your abilities, and understand that there are no failures, only lessons. Believe me when I say that once you do, the only regret that you will have is the time that you wasted not trusting yourself and jumping in and getting this thing started.